everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been asked by a couple of my students what is it I wear in my jacket. It's a habit I've kind of picked up over the years serving in the military. Basically you need a load of stuff to be carried about with you that is essential to do your job. And what I found is when I come out to do some of my survival training stroke bushcraft stuff, I kept putting my kit down, walking away to go and do something, go to pull out a bit of kit and go, oh, I've left it back at the camp or whatever. So this habit kept happening over and over again, so I decided to go back to how I'd done things in the military by putting things back in my pocket. And it's basically the essential pieces of kit that you can't basically be afford to be without. And so what I'm going to show you then is what I've actually carried in mine. So to start with my jacket itself, it's just a standard military issue jacket in green, and the zips and the buttons have been adjusted slightly. You can see I've got green sniper tape put on these just to stop it fraying and coming off. There's nothing worse than losing a button when you're out in the field, because basically it makes the pocket useless. So just simply by putting a piece of sniper tape on here, it stops this. And I've adjusted the inside it slightly as well by adding pieces of paracord, sniper tape to make my zip easier to go up and down. Okay, and in the centre of my jacket, the tyres here and the bottom are basically just bungee cord, because it just saves on time adjusting the pieces of string that you have and the wee pulleys on it. It just makes things a lot quicker and a lot easier to get your jacket on and off. So what I'm going to show you then is actually what I carry in it. So to start with, inside my jacket, the zips, I've got light coloured paracord, which makes it easier in low light conditions to actually see the zip. So that's why I have the light coloured on the inside of the jacket. And on this side, in this side jacket pocket, what I have is my instructional mat, and basically it's a piece of canvas cut from a Siemens kit bag, or the green issue kit bag, and it's basically just waxed with candle wax to make it waterproof. And just when we're doing stuff like this today, it makes things a lot easier for you to do instructional stuff in front of you. And all I've done to it is put a couple of grommets in, compressed them, just turned the edges in, burnt along the edges to stop it fraying the best we can, and scrubbed a tea-like candle onto it and took a hairdryer over the top of it, and that's basically waterproofed it for me. And just to show you the effectiveness of it, you'll see it beading. Yeah, so it's quite handy if you're kneeling down for a number of hours. You can see the water beading there. It just stops the dampness coming up through into you and onto your trousers and soaking you. So if you're doing any instruction, I recommend this for anybody out there doing that. So there we go, and it just shakes off. The next thing I would like to show you is basically how I would put stuff in my sleeves. This one here on the left hand side, taped again, the sniper tape. So make sure you do that to all your buttons. And all I carry in this one is basically my spoon for eating, so I know where it is, so I'm first to get the scran into me. So that's why it's there. Okay, so just keep that up there and secure inside it. Always do your buttons up as soon as you finish with the pocket. This jacket itself's got built-in pads for basically a bit of support and a bit of protection when you're down on the ground. You can do that yourself with just cutting up patches from an old combat jacket, bit of roll mat and stitch it on round. This one's fortunately got it built in for it. I've just rolled up my sleeves. It's just a bit long for me, and I don't like having the velcro because it irritates my wrist, and that's why I wear my jacket like this. On the other side then, this one, it's a press stud, and I'll just pin it down. It's so you can get quite a lot of material in this jacket, and that's why this pouch is so big. All I carry in this then is a shelter, a space blanket shelter, and I just keep it like that for emergencies. And this basically forms a triangle, and it takes up no space, and I carry in that all the time. Hopefully I never ever need to use it. Okay, so we just keep that up here in this jacket pocket, and we'll put that back. The sleeves are done the same, and the elbows with the protectors and rolled up, okay, to a length that suits me. Now, the advantages of this type of jacket then is it has this pocket here, which basically isn't a pocket, it's just a zip, which gives you access to the inside of the body. So if you're wearing a fleece or something like that, you're required to get in. The thing that's really good is it doesn't allow too much air to be released once you've built it up. And with that bungee cord I talked about that we have round here, traps it in the chest here and keeps the core nice and warm. But it's a great way of getting access maybe to maps or something on an internal pocket. Right, so I like it for that. And this here on my right hand, what I actually carry here is my car keys, and you can see the jacket's got a built-in wee hangers here, and I just keep my car keys in here, and that way they're always secure. Okay, on the other side, let's put this back, next to my car keys, what I have is an extender, and what it allows me is to get to my knife. I've attached it on here, so if I get up, drop it, whatever, it's there and it never ever leaves me. But basically I've got my full arm extension just solely by having this piece of elasticated cord. Okay, you can do that with a bungee, right, and that's where I keep my knife, in here in my right hand pocket. A number of years ago while serving, I burst the bottom of my jacket in this area under here, and I lost quite a lot of essential kit. And ever since then, what I started to do was carry stuff inside pencil cases, basically all my kit, and what it done was if it came out, I had more chance of seeing it, and that's why I carry these pouches. And all as it is a kid's pencil case. So I'll put this knife away back in the pocket. And in this pencil case here, just keeps everything together. It's got multiple pouches, and you can separate it and put different things. The thing that I've always carried for about 25 years is the old head torch. Okay, nice and easy to work, and it's an essential piece of kit. Petzl is what I've used all the time. It's never ever let me down, easy to maintain, great bit of kit, and it's not too expensive as well. Next to that, I have my fire kit. And all I have in there is just some jungle tape to seal it, keep it waterproof all the time, like so. Let's put that close here. Get it off, mate. I have my fat wood, and I have my cotton wool with Vaseline, a piece of rubber for burning, my candle, and a clipper lighter. And I just keep this all the time in here for emergencies. It's not so much that I use this one, okay, it's just that it stays there. And all as I do then, put the tape back around the seal and keep it waterproof. Know that it actually needs it for the kit that's in this. And just seal it back up. Okay, and that's what I carry in this pouch here. And all I've got to do is zip it back up, and it keeps it complete in one area. One of the things you can do is actually write on the outside with a permanent marker is fire kit, head torch on the other side. Makes it easier to read and lets you know where it is when you pull it out, because you always forget what side you put it in if you're anything like me. So I'll put that back in, and it fits in the pocket. Obviously, depending on the size of the jacket pocket you've got, you'll need to find a pouch that suits that size, but I do recommend you do this, that way it cuts down the chances of actually losing anything. On the other side I have my internal pocket, and I just keep my mobile phone here with a charging case. It keeps it warm, and it cuts down the chances of the battery losing power by getting cold when I find that I put it on the external pockets. So it's right next to my chest, I'm getting a bit of heat from my core, and that's why I carry it in that one. Next up here, oh sorry, I'll go across to this side. In this one, what I have on this here is the Gerber mini torch and can opener, and you can see a wee light. And what I like this for is at night, when you're maybe getting into your sleeping bag and stuff like that, or needing to look into your day sack or bergen at night, it gives you a wee light so you can get down here and check. And at the moment it doesn't look that bright, but at night when the pitch black, this really does light up the place. The other thing is It's got the old bottle opener on it here, which obviously is handy for your bottles of beer at night, isn't it? So that's why I like that, and it's detachable, and it just puts on here, push it in and secures it. Okay, don't really carry much in this pocket at all. What I've got in here, money, protractor, and that's it. So up and just tuck it back in, and you can zip it all the way up and secures it. On this side then, I have another pencil case. I'll just pull this out so I can show you. Here, in the inside of the pocket, what I have is a backup light. This one's a bit brighter, and it just gives me additional light along with my head torch. It's really important to have these kind of stuff on you in case they fail with the cold weather and the batteries going. I have a compass which is detachable, and it's just stuck on this hook which is sewn to the inside of the pocket. Works really good. You can take it off when you need, but there it is, nice and secure, stays in the pocket. Okay, all I'm going to do is put it back in. Right, so what I have in this, it's got multiple compartments, pencil case again. I think I got this one from Asda, okay, for about £2. In this pouch here, what I've got is a pilot's medical kit. I've just taped up to make it a bit tighter and easy to fit in here. I have a whistle, and on the side of the whistle, you can't quite see it, I've got actually reverse faced in the way is a signal mirror taped to it. Okay, and this is one of these super loud whistles, can't remember what you call it, but it really does work, and it hurts your ears when you blast the thing. Other thing I've got is a Millbank's bag. I've got it all folded up here, I'm sure you get the idea. Okay, for water purification, and just keep that at all times in there because you never know when you need it. And from the ration packs, we've just got some Puri tabs for the water as well. Okay, this goes together, put that back in, and I carry that, and that's basically some first aid, water purification, signal mirror, and the whistle. On the other side, these pieces of paracord work really good just to get it open, make it a lot easier. I have a bit of my fire lighting kit, the mini tin of Vaseline. It's essential for putting on, for talking sake. The cones, rub it in, you can ignite it. Okay, and what I've got here is 2 double clippers with sniper tape put together like so, just in case one runs out, you always got a backup one, and that's why you take the 2 of them like this. Alright, because sure as hell, when you're depending on it, it won't light. Right, so you've always got something else there to back up. The other thing I carry in here is just the Swiss Army knife here. This one actually locks. Okay, and that's just part of my fire preparation for doing fire sticks and stuff like that, and that's why I keep this one in here along with that. So that's really good. And I have just a simple piece of wood here which I would put into a pencil sharpener, and it gives me some shavings. I've actually left the pencil sharpener out, so that's why this piece of wood's here as well. The next thing I have here we've got is the survival card. This one's the ESSE survival card, and I just keep that in there. And on the back of it I have the old magnifying glass, okay, for starting fires, and it just keeps it nice and clear. And it's just an essential piece of kit. I feel it doesn't take up much space, and it's well worth carrying. So that's the ESSE survival card. Now I think I've got that along with one of my ESSE survival knives. Okay, so just slips in there, and a good bit of kit to keep. Next thing I have in here is the old rubber inner tube. I find what the inner tube's really good for is once you get it lit, it burns, the burn time, it gives the fire a chance to establish itself because the rubber keeps burning. So I found that a great piece of kit. And to the inside of it, what I've got here is a large fire steel. Okay, and I just fit that in there. And on the other side I have my fat wood, and it's already shaped, and you can see this is a really good bit of fat wood, right, and just fits in there. And this is basically my fire pouch. Okay, so I'll put that back in, and it's all contained in the one place. Yep, just put this away at the moment, and we'll zip it back up. I'm just going to set that at the side. So that's how I would have these two pockets up here done. Right, next thing then, the bottom left hand pocket, what I usually carry in here is gloves and my hat. Okay, but what I've done is actually my working gloves here, and these are just your cheap type of leather gloves. I found these have worked better for me out in the woods. I've used really expensive gloves, your Merck gloves and your Oakley gloves, but they keep bursting, and the money you're paying, I didn't think it was worth it. Whereas these kind of leather workman gloves that you get for your kind of any type of store, for £1.50, you get 6 months out of them, you just throw them away. I highly recommend these, and they're great, so that's why I use this type of gloves rather than the more expensive ones. Okay, so usually I carry this in my bottom left hand pocket. What I've got here is the old fleece hat. Obviously when you're cold, essentially keep that in there. You lost a lot of head heat and you've got to keep warm, so a nice fleece hat. This is my fleece one that I usually sleep in, but normally I use the sealskins hats, the waterproof ones, so it's just to show you my fleece. So hat and gloves. Okay, put that there. Anything else in this one, just check. Nope, that's that. Next side then, it's normally my mozzie net. Oh, here we go. So this is a Highlander mozzie net, and also in this pocket I have my magic gloves, if I can get them out. There we go, there's one. These gloves I bought from Teasels in Glasgow a good number of years ago. They're Mercalon, and I found I didn't like wearing gloves while I was serving, and I just found that it made my hands cold, but for some reason these Mercalon gloves seem to do the trick. They're really thin, doesn't matter what size of hand you've got, they fit everybody, and that's why they're called magic gloves. Really good, and when they got soaking wet, all you've done was squeeze your hand, the water run out of it, and they seem to keep your hand really warm, and I've never ever went anywhere without these. I highly recommend them. You don't see them as much now, but I'm sure if you go online and check eBay and Amazon, I'm sure you'll get it. So Mercalon magic gloves. Well, that's lets you know what I actually carry in this jacket, and I would recommend that you maybe start doing these type of stuff yourself and just get in the habit of doing it, because it's very easy to put down your scout bag, your day sack, walk away to do a job and go, oh, here's my kit, it's back where you left it, and it becomes a really annoying habit. So I found by simply carrying this in my pockets makes a big difference to you. The other thing is as well, is in a survival situation, it's better to have the kit on you than no. So by getting into this habit of carrying it in the pockets, it's definitely the way to go. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming along today and watching the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.